No, but okay, we can get started with this one. All right. I have my uncle and my auntie here to help me out with this assignment. So here we go. Okay, where did you guys attend school at?
We're actually from Opelousas, Louisiana,
Okay.
and there was a little country place on the outskirts of Opelousas called Bellevue, Louisiana, and
Okay.
that's where we actually went to school.
Oh, okay. And y'all went to the same school?
Same school.
I started
He
at-
started at public.
I started at public school from 1 to, I don't think we had kindergarten, from the first grade to the third grade. Then I went to Catholic school where he was going.
Okay.
And I went there for fourth grade through the eighth grade. I graduated from the eighth grade. And then he went to Peter Claver High School, and I went to Carver High School.
Okay. Were those like far apart or something like that? Or?
No, that
Well,
was,
it was about, what, 2 miles apart?
Miles apart.
About 2 miles apart from the high schools.
Okay. You guys knew each other since elementary?
we knew each
Oh
other.
my God.
Elementary. We
That's
were
interesting.
neighbors.
A neighbor. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we lived on this side of the road, church, they lived on that side of the church.
And we went
Okay.
to church so we could meet each other. That's the
Yeah,
only
that
place the
was
boys could meet the girls, was the church, so we went to church.
Oh, okay.
You would
That's
plan on
interesting.
Sunday mornings to get up and go to mass because there's no way else to go.
Okay, okay. All right. When you guys were in school, did y'all experience the part where it was segregated and things like that? Like all the whites went to one school, all the blacks went to one school,
That's-
or just was it to a point to where your neighborhood was just all black and the other side of town was all white? How did it work?
No, we had white folks living across, not quite across the road from us.
Okay.
We lived on the road going this way, they lived on the road going that way.
Oh, that way. Okay.
We were mixed.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
were,
you know.
we was actually mixed.
Okay. Oh, so you guys had blacks and whites in your school and things like that?
No,
No, they
you
didn't come
asked
to our
about the
school.
neighborhood.
Oh, they didn't go to your neighborhood.
That was the
Oh.
They
neighborhood.
the neighborhood.
No, the
They
black,
went-
we were
Yeah, the whites went to
segregated.
their school.
Oh, they went to their schools. You went to your schools.
Yeah, but
Okay.
we lived, you know, because they had their place there, and then we lived in this man's place,
Okay.
so.
And even though y'all stayed in the same little part, you
Same.
still went to your
We were
own.
segregated, schools
Segregated
were
schools, okay.
segregated.
Now, was there ever a point when you guys came together,
Integrated? No.
integrated anything?
No, not while we were in school.
No, in school.
Not while we were in school. This did
And-
not happen.
And let me ask, what years was it that y'all attended school? Like from
I
start
started
to
school-
the years you guys at the end?
I'm glad you got Mitch on the interview because I can't remember years. He does really
I
good.
started school I think in 1944.
44. You started in 44.
I started 44, they had what they call primer then, it wasn't Head
Primer.
Start, it was primer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did you see the difference?
Yeah, I was born in 37, I was 7 years old when I started in 44.
44. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you guys notice a difference in the schools? Like, okay, you guys must attended the black schools and they attended the white schools. Was there ever a difference? Like, did y'all feel like they got more education than you guys did, or?
Well, to be
Definitely
honest
so.
with you,
Yeah.
my interpretation of it, I don't really know. They bused them to the city to go to school. We went to the little country schools, but they picked them up by bus, all the white kids, and took them to Opelousas.
I took them to Opelousas.
So
Okay.
I don't really know what was going on in their schools. I'm sure.
So, did you guys have busing?
No.
Or
No, we, not in the beginning, we didn't get a bus in 1947.
nothing for? Oh man. Okay.
When I started school, we had to walk like about 3.5 miles to 4 miles to get to school.
To get to school, okay, and then later now when you guys got a bus, was that because civil rights or anything, or is it just
No.
because they just
No.
figured?
It was
No,
because
That was private. The pastor that was over at both church in Grand Annapolis and Bellevue
Uh-huh.
bought buses.
Oh, so it wasn't the district; it
No.
was the pastor of the school who
Yeah.
got it. So,
Yeah.
so if it wasn't up to them, they probably still wouldn't have
We
buses
still
at that
wouldn't
time.
have no bus.
Got you.
And
Got you.
we were on the bus simply because we had to go to Grand Coteau and to Sunset where we went to high school.
No, but we had a bus in Bellevue to take us to school in 1947, or railroad that bus.
Okay.
So we had a bus. They didn't ride the bus.
We never rode a bus.
Because they lived close.
Close. Okay.
We lived like about 3 miles, or well, a good 2.5 miles, let's say. And so we rode the bus.
Okay. Okay.
But they lived about a mile from the school, I'd say, a good mile.
Okay. And most of you guys' classes, about how many students did you guys have in those classes? Like if you remember,
The most was 20, the less was about 12.
it's about 12. Okay.
Mhm.
Now was that on
Yeah,
ever?
small
Was it ever
classes.
like to a point to where it was like 8 kids, 6 kids, or it was
No.
always full?
It was,
Always
if you
full.
consider 12 full, we had small classes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, and this is the good part, discipline. Discipline in the classroom. How did that work? You know, back when you guys were in school with discipline.
I caught it with the first day I went to school.
The first day.
We had the outhouses we had to go to.
Okay.
So I needed to go to the outhouse, and I didn't like the sister to be excused.
Oh.
So when I got back, she was waiting. That didn't happen no more.
They have it no more. Okay. So they were able to use physical punishment.
They
Oh,
could
definitely
use
so.
physical punishment. They were really hard on the children, and they worked with the parents. If you caught a whipping at school, you went home and you caught another whipping.
By the parent, and so the parents and the teachers they were in
They
it
were
together.
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 It was-
So you couldn't hardly escape.
Okay. Was there ever a point to where parents come up to the school and complain, "You're whooping my child"?
No.
And this is, you know.
That
Not
could
our
never
parents, but
happen.
some parents did come. They had a parent, I know that did come, but when the sister got through with it, he was well satisfied. He said, if they act bad again, call me. I'll come get
Come get them.
them. So she
But that seldom happened.
that was very seldom.
Very seldom. Okay.
That's the only one I knew.
That's the only one you know.
Mhm.
And that's good. Out of all them years,
Out of all the
as you
years. Mhm.
like during our day now, I'll probably get that in a week. Something
And
like
it
that.
wasn't only for being bad, it was for having bad grades.
But-
If you miss one word in your spelling, you got 2 licks in your hand. If you miss 5 words, you got 10 licks in your hand. That was in a
man.
public school
That's in a public school. Oh, okay.
that I went to. He didn't go to public
Yeah.
school.
Did you guys have to ever? Did y'all suspend people, students, for?
I've never known
Let me
them
spin-
to
No,
be
but in order to
suspended.
suspend kids, I know kids to drop out and quit
Quit?
after they got caught a whipping.
So they never been like bad behavior, and they just suspend them,
No.
and
No.
so
never
th-
really
there's
had
probably no
that.
expulsion either. You know, you get expelled from school, you get kicked out, and
No.
everything.
No,
Mhm.
if
Oh, okay.
that
Never
would
happened.
happen, if you were suspended from the school, by the time you got home, your parents would beat you and nearby
send you
kill
back.
you. So you knew better.
You knew
I mean,
better.
You know, behavior was
You knew how to
pretty
act.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The kids didn't.
Parents and teachers worked together.
Work together.
With it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So in our day now, there's a process. We have like a lot of teenage pregnancies going on. You know, so back when you guys were in school, did you guys experience that a lot? Was it an issue or?
Really wasn't an issue.
But you know,
Wasn't an issue.
I even know no girl come up pregnant when we went to school.
You know, we were not as many children as there are today graduating from school. I mean, like Michelle graduated in a class of 400. I had 19 graduates. So, you know, we weren't that many.
That many and that big.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, an important part for me, a question to ask you is about: did you guys have school counselors back then?
It never dawned on me until, you know, you asked the question that we didn't have counselors.
Did you have
I
counselors?
never
We
knew what
didn't
was
have
a council.
counselors, no.
So you.
I didn't know what was that?
We had teachers,
Yeah, we had the sisters and
and I always
they
kind of
had the councils for the kids.
I
Yeah.
kind of felt that they didn't really prepare us. Maybe it's because we didn't have counselors to go to college. All
Okay.
of 19 of us graduated, Not one of us went to college.
Yeah, and that was going to be one of the questions I asked you guys too.
Oh,
But
really?
we're gonna hold her on that one because
Okay,
I'm gonna come back to
okay.
that one too. That's a good one.
Okay.
Okay, what about like did you have a principal, assistant principal, or anything like that, or?
No.
We had no principal. We had
No
the
principal.
sister that was the head of it.
Oh, okay.
No, you could have
Well, she
probably
was a
called her
principal.
principal.
Call her
Yeah,
principal,
Sister Jane
okay.
She was
Francis
the
was
head
the
of it.
principal.
And
Okay.
whatever she said, I guess, it went, or either the sisters would get together and talk.
Okay.
She
We
was
had-
a principal. But we didn't think of at that time of being a
No,
principal.
no principal.
We had
They called her
principal.
Mother Jane Francis, so she was the head of it.
She was the head. Okay,
Yeah.
it makes
We
sense.
had one in public schools. We had a principal.
One in
We
public
didn't
school.
have an assistant, but we didn't have a whole bunch of children either.
Not much children either. Okay, okay. So, okay, like you were saying before with college, so at high school, was it normal for the teenagers to have their mindset onto going into a job? Or was there or was it split? Some was going to go to college and some was going to go to work? Or how did that work?
They didn't, like I said in the beginning, I felt that the school didn't prepare us for college. They never talked about it. The teachers had their education. They were black teachers. But,
Okay.
you know, they never told us we probably could get scholarships. They knew we couldn't afford to go to college. We just assumed we couldn't afford. But I'm sure there were some ways
To go
to go, but we didn't, none of us of the 19 went to
to
college.
college? Okay.
How many went to work? I'm not sure, but what would happen when we graduate back then, most of us would get married. That's what
Okay.
happened to us.
Marriage and go off into, okay, start
And
family
then you
life.
start building on your own, trying to find a little job or doing something. I came to Houston, we came to Houston, and I took, I went to school in business,
Okay.
and that was after I was married, because my parents couldn't afford to send me to college or anything like that.
Oh, okay, okay. Did you guys have like certain classes for kids on different levels? Like today we have like if you have a kid who comes in and let's say he's in the 6th grade, but he's reading on a 2nd grade level, they'll put him in a remedial class to try to catch up. Did you guys teach by levels, or they just put you guys in a class and?
Put you in a class, and at the in the end of the year, if you didn't pass the test, you stayed in that same grade.
Stayed in the
You
same grade?
failed, yeah.
Oh,
There were no special class. There were no special education classes.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So you don't have any like special education students there or anything?
Nothing, no.
I guess we probably all bipolar.
We didn't.
We didn't like. It was hard to go to school like they do here because we had to work in the field.
Okay.
So when they're right now, well, it's in June now, but we wouldn't. The boys couldn't start school until around Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. Well, Thanksgiving was
Yep.
later in the year.
That's
Okay.
why when we graduated, in my class, he was at another school.
Mhm.
We had 18 girls and 1 boy. Most of the boys had to drop
Boys
out
had to stay
work
in
in the
the, you had
field.
to stay and work in the field because
Okay.
that was our living, and the only way we made money. So you had to raise the crop in order to sell it for you to live off of.
And by the time November came, there was winter.
Well, we was through in the field,
Through in the field at that time.
so we had nothing else to do. We would go on vacation until the last part of March.
For more. Okay.
And the boys had to drop out of school again and start applying again.
Okay. And there was no law saying that you
No.
better come to school and do this and nothing like that.
The
So
law knew those boys had to work
Yeah,
for
yeah,
livelihood.
the law knew that.
and then
They
livelihood.
had to
And,
do
So
it, yeah.
that wasn't no problem there. You couldn't. We were sharecroppers. We couldn't live in the white man's place and didn't
and then
raise nothing.
Yeah.
So we had to.
So when
And
winter.
the white man was in control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
white man
So when winter came, crops had stopped. So now it's time you guys can go to school
we
now.
go to school.
And
every
then
day.
at the end of March or so, when summer and all that's starting to come up, spring and all that, you go back to the field.
Go back if you the only time the
That's
boys
it.
could nearly go back to school. Like I was the oldest one home from my 12 that was home, that was working. My older brother worked out. So I had to drop out. By the time I went to school anyway, it rained.
Right.
Because we couldn't fly in the field. And outside of that, I was out there in the field. I was 12 years old.
Okay. Now today we have like our students have periods when it's like first period math, second period science, third period LAR. What subjects did you guys learn in school? Did you have multiple subjects or was it just?
Yeah, well, in public school where I
Uh-huh.
went to, when I went to high school, starting in ninth grade, we had English, we had math, reading, science.
Okay.
That was our grades.
Did y'all ever get into like algebra, calculus,
Algebra.
geometry,
Algebra,
algebra?
probably
Okay.
around the 11th grade.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's that one. Was different. Okay. Social class. You know, nowadays, like in our school, you have it to where this kid's parent is a lawyer and a doctor, and this kid's parent, dad doesn't work and mom works at Walmart. So you know there'll be a income difference in there. Did you guys see a difference between the kids in your school who had more money and less money? Did y'all treat them the same, or was it?
Everybody was treated the
Treated
same
the
because
same.
everybody didn't have any money in
So-
our little community.
Yeah, so everybody was on the same
Nobody
level.
had no money. We
Same
were
level.
all on the same level.
We was all on the same level. It wasn't known that we had more money than what they had.
Yeah.
It was all the same.
So you guys didn't ever go through the phase of, you know, coming to school with like the best gear or anything like that?
No.
No.
It was just you just came there and y'all didn't even think
We were
about that.
there.
Huh?
Our uniform was khaki
Khakis.
He was at public. He was at,
in the Catholic school.
and
Khaki.
4 years that I went to Catholic school, we had a uniform,
They wore blue skirt and white
white
top
blouse.
and black and white shoes.
Oh, and here's one I want to know. School lunches. How did y'all do lunch? Did y'all have a cafeteria, or did y'all like bring sack lunches, or how did that work?
You ain't had no cafeteria before they built the gym. You'd eat in the classroom.
Eat in the classroom?
Eat on your
But you
desk.
ate at
Yeah.
school.
Now, did they
They
feed you,
prepared it.
or did you? Oh, they prepared it.
They
School.
prepared it in school. Lunch was a nickel.
A nickel?
Okay, no. When I went to public school,
Uh-huh.
from first grade to third grade, they did have lunch, and it was 3 cents. But we didn't have 3 cents, so we brought our lunch from home.
So you
Our
brought your
parents didn't have 3 cents to pay for our lunch.
No.
Got you.
And we moved close by the school. We lived about a half a mile, so we'd go home and eat, then come back to school.
No, because they didn't
Now-
have a nickel.
Now, was this during high school,
No.
middle school?
No.
Elementary, in
No.
the beginning.
So you could go home at elementary
We ain't eating.
and eat and then come back
He
to school.
lived close, he just
Yeah, we
lived
lived
across
about
the
half a
street.
mile from the school.
Oh,
We
okay.
brought our lunch.
But even
Yeah.
because like Reynolds is right there, and that kid better not walk off that campus.
Yeah, I know. we could do that.
Y'all
It's
can do
not-
that.
yeah.
Off that campus, yeah. I was
Oh, man, let me see. So okay.
We was like 5 in school at all times. That was
So so they never got on y'all about the type of food you guys ate at lunch. Like you shouldn't be eating this candy. You shouldn't be eating this, and them chips is bad for you.
No.
Whatever you had, you just ate it.
Yeah, of course. We
Okay.
didn't have no candy. We didn't have nothing bad. We had the main course,
Yeah.
Okay.
be it biscuit and eggs for breakfast, or peanut butter and jelly for lunch, and then
Mhm.
we ate when we got home.
Okay. All right. Just have a couple more questions. We'll be done. Okay. Now you saying like at the end of the year they gave you a test. Now was that test designed by the state or was it just designed by the school, the sisters in the school? Do y'all know that
I
part?
really don't know. All I know it was a test.
Was it a test?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think public school.
Maybe public school.
I think it must have been designed maybe by the state,
By the state, and you had to pass it in order to go to the next
the
grade.
next grade.
Okay, so that's
Maybe
kind of
that
similar.
was different in the Catholic school. But Catholic school was Catholic, and the state didn't have nothing to do with the Catholic school except they'd send a milk truck there every day and bring milk. That's the only thing you did. The state and the Catholic school stood on their own.
Gotcha.
Independent.
non-Catholic couldn't come to the Catholic school.
That's why they had a bus, because
And
that
a
priest
bus.
saw that they had a bus. We didn't have
So
one. I
you
was
guys
going to.
didn't have a bus.
We didn't have a bus.
Okay.
That's the difference.
So the
Okay.
state should have furnished them
With a bus. Yeah, a bus to go to
didn't.
school.
But they didn't.
And they
They
didn't.
furnished it to the white folks and to the black folks.
That was racism.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I'm actually reading about that in my chapters right now in my books and everything. Okay. Were you required to say the Pledge of Allegiance? Or did y'all have it?
Yeah,
we
Or
did.
You
We
had?
did.
And
Uh-huh.
were you required? Did you have to stand and
Yeah.
hand over your heart? And
Yeah, when you get in, you have to pray
In the
okay,
Catholic school.
in the Catholic school.
okay.
And you say the pledge, and that was it.
Now, is there a time when you had somebody just standing there not saying it at all, or anything? Like, was there a punishment for that or anything?
No, if they didn't, we was a bunch of kids in there saying it together. So
They were obedient kids. They
I
usually
didn't know
said
if they
their
wasn't saying
pledge.
it or not. I'm quite sure the sister didn't know if they wasn't saying it or not.
Okay, I got you. 'Cause now we have some things about that. It's where
Yeah.
if you feel like you don't want to say it, you don't have to say it.
That's right.
Things like that.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
on the news today.
Yeah, well, you see, but it's Catholic was Catholic, so there was no problem there. Now, when she was in high school, now that might have been there.
Okay. And nowadays, it's bad, but we have officers roaming our halls for safety and things like that. Did you guys have officers roam your hall for
Didn't
safety?
have to worry about no kid getting out that class.
No, we never had
They wouldn't
officers.
go get out that class.
Oh, got that
We
clay.
never had
No.
officers.
Only time you go to that class is when you have to be excused to go to the house. I
Go
mean,
around house or something. Okay.
outside of that, you know not to go out that door.
Okay. So did y'all ever have fire drills and lockdowns?
In high school, public high school, we
Public-
didn't have
Oh,
fire.
they did.
Would they have fire drills?
We had fire drills.
Okay, everybody in an orderly form, line up, walk out out the building and stuff.
Yep.
So you did have that.
We did
Okay.
have that.
They did.
Did y'all have lockdowns?
No.
Like when they're suspecting, let's say they're
No.
thinking someone with a gun across the
No.
street, they get y'all in, close the doors, get under the tables and
No,
things like that.
never.
Never had that. Okay. Okay. Now here's the one. This will be the last question, and very controversial between now. And I know it's different from back then too.
Mhm.
But gay and lesbians. Did you guys deal with that during your days?
Not at all.
Not at all. There was no type of. Did they even? Were they even like the term out of the closet then,
No,
or anything
If
like
they
that?
were in
was,
the
they
closet.
stayed in the closet.
they were in
didn't
the
come out.
closet. They were
come out.
not. I
So-
know we had
I
some.
know the
So-
boys that I came up with, they didn't act like that because we laughed.
Yeah, like
But no,
you laugh at them, or
They didn't act like that, so
You can't do that today. You can't laugh at them today.
yeah.
No.
So you guys go through a period like you heard that guy was gay. Did y'all go? I mean, not saying that you guys, but like did people go and beat them or do anything like that?
No, never, nothing
never?
like that.
So if they were, they just never told nobody or
They
said
never told
anything.
nobody,
No, never
and
did.
it
They did a
never,
good job
it
of
just
keeping
stayed
it
there.
in.
Keep it that way.
I just noticed, sometimes these people never got married as they got older, but we knew, they had told us earlier that they were gay, so
Okay.
it was just a normal thing,
Normal
you know.
thing.
But we didn't have a whole
Well,
bunch
it
of
was,
them.
they didn't get married. I guess just some people didn't. I had an uncle, and they didn't get married, and I never seen them around no man or nothing acting funny. or anything.
Yeah, but we knew these people were gay from little. I've got a cousin. that's
Okay.
Oh.
So it's basically you probably knew and you assumed it, and but like no one ever said anything about it, and no
Never.
one ever went after them.
Never.
Or
That never, stuff like that never happened.
never happened.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's not
Time.
like today. I know what's going on
No.
with them today and all of that.
Yeah. So yeah, times have changed.
Yeah, it certainly
Day
has.
and night.
With
Oh, from
this.
that point of view, I didn't see no gays till I came to Houston.
So you came to Houston.
I came to mine till I came to Houston, and I seen someone walking down the street and holding their hand, and they was talking like a lady. I said, "Oh, well, that gotta be me."
They gotta be. They gotta be
It
there.
was about four of them.
Uh huh.
So they was talking like ladies out there.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I pretty much covered what I wanted to ask you guys. Some valuable information. I mean, that was interesting for me, you know, like.
Yeah, so you know, you didn't know that. No, that's just like Annie Michelle. They don't know what we went through that wedding.
Yeah.
Actually, Annie Michelle told Olive's mom and daddy was Louisiana. He told us, yeah, that they was Louisiana. You know, and we'd show them some of the houses that the people had to live in. Well, we lived in them too. And old houses. They said, well, how y'all lived in there? We said, well, y'all did the same, because y'all had no else.
The stories we actually tell them of how we lived a long time ago, they think that's not, my mama, y'all did, that's not true. Y'all just saying that. Yeah, we did walk 5 miles to school, you know, and we did go through a lot of stuff that they didn't have to go through.
No, things have changed completely by the time they got going.
And by me growing up, like I didn't go through like what you guys went through, but I tell the same stories to my children. We did this and that, and they're like, oh, wow, you did? Like, yeah, we had to do this and that, and like I said, they don't think we're telling the truth about it either.
That's
you know, so
that's true. That's true.
yeah. But I think like this interview right here, I think it's important for educators so that they can see how far we've come, what's changed over the years. Because like I can't tell the life story of schooling from my point of view right now. I mean, because it was so many years before me. I don't know. I can only tell you from when I started.
Exactly.
You know, and all that time after, before that, you know, that can get lost in time. You know, no one knows about that. You know, so.
And comparing to when we started school and when our children started school, the schools were still segregated.
Yeah, they were still
Segregated.
Still segregated.
See, the school didn't get desegregated till 64.
64, yeah.
Well, they had one was segregated in Arkansas, 1957.
And when they integrated, they exchanged teachers. Black teachers went to white schools, and white teachers came to
White schools.
because we're here, and it's black people who live in this area. So you don't have white people here.
No.
So they send the teachers to the classroom.
Oh, okay.
It was integrated.
Now they did that for the purpose of integrating, like say, okay, so we do have white people over there, and we do have black people over there. So if you would, let's say we stand in an area of nothing but white people, they'll try to send a black person from somewhere else to that school just so they can. Okay.
And it took black teachers and sent them to white schools.
And then later, after they graduate from here, you can go to any school.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can
That works. That's
apply to go to any school, and it's more. I'm sure colleges were segregated.
Yeah.
We didn't get to go, but you know, now you can go up to any college.
in college you want to.
that you-
And they're like in schools now. We start as fifth and sixth grade, getting your mindset for college. You know, trying to like
That's
hone in
right.
towards college as of
That's
right
right.
now.
That's
Because we
right.
have career day, college day. You know, we come in with all the teachers come in with their college shirts on. You know, so it's like putting it in their head, like,
That's
okay,
right.
the
And
plan
that's
after this
important.
is to go to college. You know, so that's what I wanted to like in the back in the day. Did they have it to where they're trying to get you guys? Okay, you're gonna go to Prairie View, and you know, okay, that'll
And
work.
the difference with us when we started school and when my children went to school, they were a little bit more prepared than we were because we could read and write and we work with them. Our parents couldn't, so we just went to school. You know, and when we got through school is what we had. But we could work with them, we could buy them toys that was educational. Parents couldn't buy anything for us, they didn't have money, we were just poor. And, you know, it made a difference for our children. We were better prepared.
We could do much more for our kids than what our parents could do for us.
Yeah, I say the same thing to my kids.
All right.
Y'all know my lifestyle.
Each generation.
Y'all know my
Each-
lifestyle.
Each generation has a story to tell.
Yeah.
That story to tell. Yeah,
That's
they,
right, that's
like, I
right.
tell them my kids the struggle that I went through as a kid. For real, real.
And you always want to make things better for your children than you had.
Than you had, yes.
And, you know, I wanted to go to college, but, you know, my parents couldn't afford to send me. And so I made sure that was in their mind from young. That's part of your
Yeah,
education,
you're
college.
gonna go to college.
So, see, we accomplished that.
We started-
You accomplished it, yeah.
We accomplished that.
Yeah, you're going
Okay.
to college. You need to know,
Yours are gonna go to college, they probably won't struggle as much as you did to go to college.
Yeah.
You know, you want to spare them from that.
Yeah, we already got it set.
Mhm.
It's already there, you know.
That's right, that's right, so,
yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Good, okay. Well, that'll conclude our interview with that one. I got some valuable information. Thank you guys. And that
Well,
was
we enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
That was
Appreciate
definitely.
it.
All righty. You got him cold turkey.
I know.